Hey guys, welcome back to the Bad Dating Podcast. This is episode 5. My name is Michael James. I want to thank you guys for joining me and for the likes on TikTok, Instagram, uh, Twitter, and YouTube. Yes, thank you. I've been trying to respond to the feedback that I'm getting, trying to keep improving, trying different things. If you're watching with YouTube, you'll see that the lighting's different. I'm just trying things, just try to keep improving the experience, just because I know what that's like to watch podcasts or to listen to podcasts and then have them not fix things. So that's what I'm trying to do. So yes, if you can just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, especially on YouTube and TikTok, just that's important. And if you have any feedback, please let me know. So for this episode of the Bad Dating Podcast, I'm going to talk about fitness and dating because the two things go kind of hand in hand. So first off, if you are watching, you can see I am into fitness a little bit, slightly. And so that has definitely played a part in dating and trying to talk to people. So one of the things that I have realized too is not everyone's comfortable when it comes to fitness, especially when it comes to dating. So dating is a $1 billion industry and fitness is a $1 billion industry. So they of course can go head to head on a regular basis. And that's one of the things that people don't talk about. So I've lived in a couple states, and where it's hotter and warmer and where there are beaches, those states tend to be a little bit more into fitness, or fitness comes up a little bit more often. So, I mean, there's fit people everywhere, and there's people who are not in on that journey. So for me, I wasn't always fit. I wasn't always fit for most of my life. This is a little bit more of a recent thing. So I kind of understand. But with fitness not being a regular thing everywhere, when it comes to dating, that can create friction. And that's just because, some places, especially when it goes into the wintertime, you're not as focused about fitness because it's cold, it's snowing, there's lots more obstacles. Being in California, it's sunny. And so I remember one Christmas where it was 85 degrees, clear blue sky, and it was just perfect beach weather on Christmas Day. So there are the differences. So when that comes to dating, man, there's a lot that can play into, especially just because with everyone having different opinions and different takes when it comes to how to date and when it comes to fitness, it creates, again, just issues, problems, beef. And so that's one of the things I've run into. I mean, I've had people so I'm on dating apps. I will sometimes get comments that, oh, your personality doesn't match your looks. I thought you were going to be shallow because especially if you see me right now, I am in a stringer tank top and I work out. So especially when it was during shelter in place, I was just in gym equipment all day, most days, and that was perfectly fine. It actually took adjustment to get back to wearing jeans and regular t-shirts and stuff. So from the rip, people can see you and make associations with how they think you might act or talk like based off of, just visual. I mean, they say don't judge a book by the cover, but we all know that happens. So knowing that, pushing past that, it comes to actually meeting and talking to somebody. Sometimes people get in their own head when it comes to dating someone who is at a different level. For when I was not fit, I mean, at my heaviest, I was a big boy. I was 300 pounds at my heaviest. And now I'm into fitness shows and doing bodybuilding and natural bodybuilding and stuff. So I've seen the spectrum. At my biggest, I was self-conscious about dating someone who was not that's the goal. Oh, hey, she looks great. Oh, she's talking to me and all this other stuff. And then you feel oh man, weird about how you look. Sometimes you wear jackets, you do the things that hide some of that weight, and you just kind of feel weird. And then sometimes that can drive you to act a little less confident, and that can also be the thing that pushes someone away. So I've been there. And then being more fit now, what I'm running into is people who, when they date, they get a little bit intimidated by me. So especially like right now, I'm getting ready for competition. So I'm a little bit leaner than what I typically am. So like for me, a good cruising weight is 200 pounds, which is down from at my heaviest of 300 pounds, which is, and I would always, before then, before I actually like found fitness, I'd always bounce between 230, 250, sometimes 260. So getting below what I'm trying to make is my new walk around weight of 200 pounds. Yeah, a little lean, a little fit. And so sometimes that can be intimidating. I mean, I've matched with people, met them, and then have had, talks where they just kind of felt like, well, I mean, you're just so fit. And it's just like, okay, but did I match with you? Did I swipe? Did I ask you for your phone number? Did I ask you on a date? Did I kiss you? Like, oh, those types of things show that, yeah, I'm interested. So, like, why are you second guessing? Why are you doubting yourself? So it's very easy for that to happen. And guys, we do this too when it comes to a girl who is into us and she's fit or she's an athletic person. I mean, ego plays a big part in how we deal with people. And unfortunately, guys, we let our ego kind of like push us into either trying too hard or just trying to overcompensate. So you're talking to someone and fitness comes up. It just does. So there's three sorts of situations that I'm rarely come into. And so we're not going to talk about all of them because two of them aren't really problems. I mean, first situation is when it's one person is into fitness and the other person isn't. The second situation is when both people aren't into fitness. And the third situation are when they were both into fitness. So I don't need to talk about the third one because it doesn't have, that's not really a problem. And also when both people, and I don't need to talk about the second one because when both people aren't into fitness, then they're fine. The problem is when it's one person's into fitness, the other person isn't. So I can say going on to dating apps, what happen is a lot of people will tell me that they're into fitness. And they'll say like, oh yeah, I go to the gym. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't ask or that didn't come up. But sometimes, especially just with me being at a certain level of fitness, unfortunately, sometimes that comes up a little bit more than I'd like. And, it is what it is. But when there's sometimes a disparity between if someone's into fitness or maybe someone says they are, but that may not be the case because trust me, most people who have to say they're into the gym aren't really putting in the work sometimes. Sometimes like the people who are the most into the gym don't need to really talk about it because the bigger you are, the leaner you are, the stronger you are, or whatever your niche in fitness is, it can become pretty apparent. So people at the grocery store will say like, oh, hey, do you lift weights? And it's just like, cool. I'll just look at them for a second because yes, sometimes people want to be polite and make that conversation and connection and stuff, but I'm just like, yes, obviously I do. Cool. And then I'll just go on with my day. So when there's those sorts of differences, one of the biggest things that I've learned is, hey, if you're seeing someone, identify that, call that out, because sometimes in their head, people will think that like, well, he's going to want me to do this or and it's just like, first for me, I don't. If I meet you and you're dope and we connect and maybe you don't like to do walks, maybe you don't go to the gym, maybe fitness just isn't your thing, that is 100% fine. You don't have to do that. That's not the expectation. Yes, it is nice when you have things in common, but you don't have to have that in common. There's other things like, man, I fell for you because of your sense of humor and all this other stuff. But for me, I go to the gym every day and that's for me. And that's why I don't expect someone who, if like, that's not where you're at in your journey. Cool. You don't need to do that. And I would tell people I'm not going to bug someone to go because that's not like, I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not trying to get someone else out there into the gym or be someone's coach, because you fall in that, you make that mistake one time, and I've made that mistake one time, technically two times, but you make that mistake, and then it seems like you're dragging someone to the gym, and then that other person becomes resentful and doesn't want to be there, and it's just more issues than not. So that's why for me, hey, I'm not on apps trying to talk to people about fitness, trying to get them into fitness. I've gotten real weird messages where someone's like, hey, well, you could train me and you can get me into fitness. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what every fit person wants to do, is coach someone for free. That's all they hit them up for. I mean, I'm obviously kidding, but first, ladies, if you think that's okay for someone to hit you up, if for you to hit someone up like that, would it be okay if a guy to just hit you up for direct about, oh, hey, well, we could just hook up, and then, if things work out, or just because of your body, or just because you having something that someone else wants, doesn't necessarily mean you want to be solicited for that and just asked about that. And guys, same thing. Like, oh, cool, the girl's really into fitness. You don't have to talk about that. Like, if she brings that up if I start seeing someone, I will make sure to say, hey, it's not required that you go to the gym. That's fine. Oh, you can come with me if you want. I'm only throwing that out one time, and I'm never going to bring this up because I'm not trying to give you a complex. And I'll just leave it at that. So that way, if they do want to come, like, cool. So from there, if someone decides that they want to try it out later on, maybe this is months later, they're like, well, yeah, I see this person that I'm seeing always going to the gym. Yeah, I want to go. To the people who are into the gym, don't push them into the same things that you're into unless you've had like in-depth conversations. Sometimes just getting someone to go and be consistent is the biggest win, because that's the hardest part. A lot of people have so many fears, so many phobias when it comes to the gym. I mean, trust me, I've had girls who will go into the weight room with me, and that's dope. Especially a lot of people, it doesn't matter if you're not into free weight training, you get kind of like, oh, people are looking at me and I don't know exactly what I'm doing, and this is weird, so I'll leave. And when I first got into weightlifting, if it wasn't for me having a trainer way back within, that was me. I was like, I've had friends try to get me to go to the gym, and then sometimes I'd give in and you just feel weird, and then you just a couple sets from free weights, you feel weird, and then you just kind of like go over to the machines and you hang out to machines until you just leave. So trust me, I understand. So if you are going to be open to that, to helping your partner into getting into fitness, that's great. But again, just help set the realistic expectations, because I'll just say this, a lot of people who are into fitness, the fit person in air quotes, in the relationship, they might not even know what the heck they're doing. As someone who goes to the gym, and again, I see my gym regulars, we're just like, okay, cool, there's this person, oh, there's this couple, oh, they're always together. I see these people that are so regular and just like, oh, their form's terrible. Oh yeah, you can, when you get into fitness to a certain level and you start learning and growing your knowledge base, you can kind of see like, oh, this person doesn't know what they're doing. Like, yeah, they're a little fit, but they're still doing things that are like, haven't been good in fitness in like 30 plus years, just because, okay, cool, you're still doing things behind the neck, or their form's bad, or you can start seeing muscle imbalances. But again, I'm not here to speak specifically on that. I'm just bringing this back to dating. So you may not know what to do, and that's okay. And your partner who's relying on you may just have a different ideas to what they want to do. So that's why sometimes taking that opportunity to learn together, like say, hey, you're interested in going to the gym. Is that something like maybe we could like, watch videos, kind of see, get someone comfortable? Because what happens is a lot of times people go to machines or do what they know just because that is very safe. And when it comes to, I don't have to learn much. I mean, a machine that just goes forward and back, it's like for dumbbell curls, a curl machine, or a bench, a machine bench. I'm sorry, military bench press. It's easy. And so it's kind of like doesn't take having to know much. And sometimes just being able to sit with the person you're seeing, talking to, or whatever, and just be able to watch YouTube videos where they're going into form and technique. And like I watch a lot of the science guys, like Jeff Nippard, Jeff Cavalier, Renaissance periodization. So talking about form, talking about technique and stuff, sometimes you learn so much. And then so if you're happy to learn and then also happy to share that journey with the person that you're trying to, who's like coming to you, you guys can both learn and maybe you guys improve or find the things that you want. I mean, I think, yes, everyone should lift weights. You don't have to lift heavy, but your body's covered in muscle. But that's me. I can't tell the person who, maybe you want to do yoga, maybe you want to do Pilates, maybe you want to do the water aerobics course or whatever. That's fine. That's not even just fine. That's great. Just getting someone to get into it. And so that's why just encouraging them is great. But also sometimes people go just because they think that's what the other person wants. That's why, again, I try not to bug someone I'm seeing about going to the gym. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. So avoid drama in the gym with your partner. I've had this too, where I've literally only talked to one person in terms of like hollering at, talking to, dating, one person from the gym. And besides her being a little interesting, to say the least, I get in my zone when I'm in the gym. So I'm not looking at much besides my phone, maybe what I'm doing. I'm kind of zoning out. You can see me probably like singing to myself or whatever, just focus and amped up. And she would say, I saw you look at that girl's butt. Because especially we didn't work out together. She worked out separately and she had saw me and I was like, what are you talking about? Because first, if I wasn't seeing someone back then, I wasn't looking around. Oh, I saw the person that I was seeing, sit, wave, continue to do what I was doing. But like, yeah, I'm not looking around. And it's like, that would be an easy trap. Like, cool, maybe, yes. There's lots of people wearing short, tight stuff. Guys, girls, whatever you're into, they're there, depending on especially the hours and the location. But you don't have to, like, if you're prone to look, don't do it when it's super obvious. Or just, again, the better you get with the gym stuff, you'll be like, yeah, I don't need to really look because I'm focused on my workout. I'm trying to get in and get out as quickly as possible. So that's not everyone. And so that's why I don't expect everyone to feel that way. But when she said, oh, I was looking at that girl's butt, I'm just like, cool, if you say so. Because like I wasn't. I went to very, let's say, very target rich schools when it comes to women wearing bikinis, short skirts, stilettos, looking just dressed to the gills at all hours of the day, at night. So like kind of like burn through that. Like I need to check out just some random girl for who's just wearing gym shorts. Like, okay, I'm kind of over that. So I was like, no, definitely wasn't. But again, sometimes that causes issues and that causes drama. So especially try to avoid that if you know your partner might get really insecure, or maybe you are going to look. So like, you should talk to your partner, they should know that. Or if they're still not comfortable with that, don't go at the same time. That's fine too. You guys can both be into the gym, or them going and getting into the gym at a separate time. Let their journey be their journey. But please, 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 don't let the gym become drama. Don't let the gym become issues. So one of the things I learned a long time ago was, if there are differences physically when it comes to you and whoever you're seeing, one thing's typically going to happen. One of you is going to start to change and start to look like the other person. So that means that just happens socially. Like, you can't be around a bunch of billionaires and then not try to like get good with your money if you're broke. You can't not eat fish and then spend every day with people who only eat fish. Because again, some people don't eat sushi, and me being from California, like, before sushi was trendy and cool, like, I had always loved sushi. So it's just very hard. Not that there's no one that fits into that category, but yeah. And so transitioning back, people will shift. It takes a strong, steady, resolved person to not make a change one way or the other. So sometimes the person who's fit may fall out of it, or honestly, the person who is not into fitness may start jumping into it just to try to, like, it just happens. If you're around someone, that may happen. So I don't even know if I would even call that out, just because if you're trying to tell someone when they're not ready for that journey that, oh, it's going to happen, like, yeah, that's not what they're signing up for. I mean, trust me, there was a point where I would never go to the gym, and anytime people would try to ask me to go to the gym, I just kind of laugh, like, no, and then just pass that off. And if someone would have, and I've had, for other things, people try to forcibly teach me something that I was just like, no, thank you. I dated a Brazilian girl, and she tried to teach me Portuguese, because first off, if you didn't know, in Brazil, they mostly speak Portuguese. People may also learn Spanish, but it's Portuguese. So she was trying to teach me Portuguese, but she was trying to teach me in the same way that you would teach a dog how to do a trick. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. And she was kind of offended. But I was just like, yes, but it's rude and kind of offensive if you're, like, without asking me, without whatever, just trying to teach me Portuguese in that sort of way. So, like, I love learning languages and stuff, but, like, I didn't just want someone to, like, take it upon themselves and just start trying to train me, especially like a little dog or a little kid. Like, I was not with that. So don't do that when it comes to fitness. Best thing you can do is walking. I don't even really consider it indifferent. I walk, but I don't really consider that a big deal. So, like, start someone off small, invite them on a small walk, understanding that, especially if they weren't into walking before, it takes a little bit of time and then to build up. So, like, hey, just do a small walk. Hey, babe, do you want to come walk with me around the block? Or, I did this when I was seeing someone and they weren't really into walking, but they started becoming into it and wanting to spend time with me. I was like, hey, I'm very much down. Sometimes we can talk and I'm going to be there. And then sometimes I know I just need to, like, decompress. And that just means, like, I just want to be, like, headphones on and, like, we're going to be next to each other, but, like, I just need to decompress. And so, like, I don't want that to be something that you're surprised by. Just, sometimes you have a long day at work and you just need to relax. You just need to chill. And so if you say that before, you can buy yourself a lot more good standing and grace than if that person figures out later, like after they're already mad, or it's just like, oh my God, why did you put headphones on and I didn't even feel close with you. Why was I even there? So again, fitness and some of the stuff is very tricky, but that's why you need to communicate. It's first and foremost, always try to communicate, or just set realistic expectations for yourself and for the other person. Just because, again, I can see the benefit. I know the benefit of fitness and taking care of yourself, but the other person has to get there on their own. And like, if you're there and you're supportive, maybe they jump on board way sooner than if you just try to push them into it and then they just reject it and reject you. So yeah, that can just be a very big sore spot. If you're really, really into fitness, like again, for me, I do natural bodybuilding. That creates a little bit more issues and techniques. Issues and problems, just because. So for bodybuilding, at a certain point, you start build muscle, try to train. That only really takes an hour. For me, at least, an hour at the gym a day, and then I'm drinking a protein shake. And so that's when I'm spending my time building or massing or bulking or whatever you want to call it. And then when I'm in a fat loss phase and cutting and want to prepare for a show, hey, when I'm just like generally preparing, cool. It's just really kind of just controlling my eating a little bit more. Sometimes I'll still cheat, but and I will, especially if you're going to cheat on your meal and you're planning, that's perfect for date night. Just like, hey, I haven't taken her out this week. Next week, hey, Friday, are you free? You want to do sushi? You want to do whatever? You make a date night out of it, so she still gets or he still gets what they need from you, and you can still lose weight. But for me, especially at a certain point for preparing for shows, that can create a bigger issue. So I always love to talk about that stuff beforehand, just so the people know what I deal with, and just kind of what that entails before, they start feeling away. Honestly, a lot of times good communication can just help diffuse or help mitigate some of the issues, where if they feel surprised, which is like, well, yeah, we used to go out to eat, or, hey, I love food and drinks or whatever, and this guy's not asked me to this stuff, like that can be a little off-putting if they're not kind of just prepped a little bit when just saying like, hey, especially if you're dating someone, is offer to cook. And so like, yeah, I can cook, throw together some extra stuff, cook a meal that my partner will love, and still count my macros, weigh my food, and do all that other stuff for myself. So it's just like, yeah, not a problem. But again, that just takes being willing to talk and communicate. So it can be done. I know tons of people who are into one person's into fitness and they're dating someone who's not necessarily into fitness, but those people who last longer talk and communicate. And because again, and maybe you are communicating, but you also need to make sure to be listening and getting your partner's feedback, just because some people will say, yep, I agree. And they'll say that they sign up for everything that's involved. And then just their actions after that will kind of say like, well, maybe they don't understand exactly, or maybe they need some more buy-in. But yeah, it can be done. I'm single, so I haven't done it right now, but I know it can be done. So again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I just wanted to touch on this because it comes up so much, especially on dating apps. Everyone will put their own into the gym, or some people say that they're not in the gym. I see profiles that say that they're not into hiking, not into this, not into that, and that's fine. I have dated all types. I'm completely fine with that, but you just have to have realistic goals and expectations and being willing to communicate when you're trying to talk to someone, when there is that difference when it comes to, I'm into fitness, they're not. Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning into another episode. Please, if you have had this issue when it comes to dating someone of a different fitness level, let me know in the comments on YouTube. Just tell me what happened. I would love to hear stories and feedback as to what your experience has been with this, because maybe there's a fourth type of situation when it comes to someone into fitness and someone's not, or maybe you have had better success navigating those sorts of hurdles when it comes to a relationship and fitness. Thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe and comment on the video or the podcast. Hit the 5-star review. That helps boost the algorithms just so I can get more content up. I do want to keep improving production for the Bad Dating Podcast. Thank you.